Welcome back to our channel, and thank you for tuning in and thank you for supporting us. But if you are new to this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please encourage us by doing so that we can bring you the latest news as they happen. And together, we shall work together with our great leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB, and Eastern Security Network to make our Biafran dream a reality. ዄse. The Fulani Nigerian presidency cabal are now restless and afraid. They are so scared. As unity beggars OHANEZE Ndị Igbo, AFENIFERE, PANDEF, and Middle Belt Forum threatened Buhari to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday IGBOHO, two freedom fighters from the southern part of Nigeria, that they must be released unconditionally and immediately, or else they will withdraw their support for the Fulani Janjaweed One Nigeria agenda. The regional group blasted the Fulani Nigerian government for the senseless continued detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at the criminal DSS facility, while their Fulani bandits and Boko Haram terrorists get VIP treatment. And this shows the double standard of the Fulani Nigerian government. You know, the Fulani presidency cabal, they are so afraid because they know that the support that they get from these regional groups, that is OHANEZE, AFENIFERE, and Middle Belt Forum, is what that has been keeping the Fulani in power. Without that support, the Fulani would have, they would have been grounded. The regional group also demanded a stop to any further prosecution of Yoruba Nation freedom fighter Sunday IGBOHO by the Fulani Nigerian government. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday IGBOHO are freedom fighters fighting for the liberation of their people who are being oppressed and dominated by the lawless Fulani Nigerian government and their Fulani terrorists, both in the military and those disguising as killer herdsmen. Both freedom fighters have committed no offense against the Nigerian constitution or any known international law. But because of the lawlessness in Nigeria, as a result of the Fulani leadership, that is why all these atrocities are happening in the zoo called Nigeria. That is why, according to reports, some southern political leaders under the aegis of the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum have called for the release of IPOB leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The group described the charges of terrorism and treasonable felony against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by the Fulani Nigerian government as provocative and showed the double standard of the Fulani Nigerian government. The IPOB leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been detained in the facility of the Nigerian Secret Police, the Department of State Security Services, for over 258 days, having been arrested since June 27, 2021. The group also demanded a stop to any further prosecution of Yoruba Nation freedom fighter Sunday IGBOHO, who is currently on a conditional release in Benin Republic. The Southern and Middle Belt Forum leaders allege that the Fulani Nigerian government had no moral right to continue the prosecution of freedom fighters, while Boko Haram terrorists, Fulani terrorist bandits, Islamic State terrorists were being given VIP treatment by the Fulani Nigerian government, where they lied and called them repentant, paid them money, and they still go back to their terrorism. You know, the Southern and Middle Belt Group made the call in a communique jointly signed by leaders of Yoruba's AFENIFERE, Igbo's OHANEZE Igbo, the Middle Belt Forum, and the Pan-Niger Delta Forum after a meeting in Abuja. The communique reads partly the continued detention and trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on charges of terrorism and treasonable felony, while known Boko Haram terrorists and Fulani bandit terrorists are being given VIP treatments and hosted in government houses, is not only provocative and perfidious, but a bizarre double standard on the part of the Nigerian state. Imagine that. Terrorists are being treated with VIP treatment, but freedom fighters are being locked up, kidnapped and locked up illegally without committing any offense. But the mass murderers are given state banquets. They live in government houses, whereas freedom fighters are locked up in solitary confinement. That is how lawless this Fulani Nigerian government is. Very lawless people, set of people, very lawless, criminal-minded, jihadists. These are Fulanis that have come to destroy the fraudulent contraption called Nigeria. And that was why when they handed over to them in 2015, they ran everything aground. They ran it aground. Now there's no fuel in Nigeria. There's no electricity in Nigeria. People are suffering. And some foolish set of people are still clamoring for one Nigeria. What kind of one Nigeria? Nigeria was not designed ab initio to work. It was designed to fail. And now that we have realized that Nigeria can no longer work, is it not better for the disintegration to happen? So that Nigeria tribes, the indigenous tribe, will go their separate ways and form their own workable nations and develop at their own pace. Not that the Fulani Janjaweed will be dragging everyone down, because they don't want to progress. They don't want to develop. All they care for, their priority is their cows and terrorism. So it would have been better they get their own R1 nation and do whatever atrocities they want to do there. Nobody would stop them. After all, Taliban took over Afghanistan. Is anyone stopping them now? No. So Nigeria must disintegrate. Either the Fulani Janjaweed likes it or not. It must disintegrate. According to the Southern and Middle Belt Forum leaders, they said they demand, in national interest, the immediate release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and a stop to any further persecution of Sunday Igboho, who is currently on a conditional release in Benin Republic. Thank you, my brothers and my sisters, for watching this video, and bye-bye for now.